Okay, let's work on the x-axis. This one is a little more complicated. Alright, because we have things going both ways. So, the front side is the side with the screw up here on the left. So, to the left is the front side. So I took a marker and I put an H, so I know that, you know, the heads of the screws stick out this side if they're supposed to, and a T for the threaded side. And the instructions say whether the bolts are an H or a T. So H means this side, T means from the back side. So at least I'm hoping that's what it means anyway. It means the head is visible on this side and the thread is visible on this side. So anyway, so what I started with was the bearings. So what I did was, you take your V wheels, you take the screw that came with the V wheel, and you stick that through. Oops, we're going to do the bottom ones. Now I ordered the rigidity kit, so I put the ones in the middle. If you didn't order the rigidity kit, then you only do the outsides. We're going to be using these holes here. So on this one, I do that. I put a regular spacer. Put that. And then put the lock nut on it. Alright. Now for the next one up, put the bolt through it. And this one is going to use that eccentric spacer, the one with the off-center kind of hole in it. So I'm going to make sure that the hole is closer towards the top of the plate. Not sure if that's the right way, but we'll find out when we get there. Put another V wheel on, and we put a lock washer on it. So now we just need to tighten these guys. Snug these guys up because we need to adjust the V wheel or the eccentric spacer later on, and at that point we'll tighten everything up even more once we get it on the rail. So they spin freely. I mean, you can't go like that and they'll keep spinning, but they move easily. Okay, so the next step is you take an M6, let's see, what is it? The M625. Take an M6 flat washer. Now I already did the bottom one. So again, this one's marked with a T, so the threaded side is going to face me, and this is the head side. So I go in through the back, and it goes in the second hole up. And then it also goes through the odd hole up here, the off-center one to the left. So then you're using a split lock, maybe. And the M6 hex nut to finish it off. So far, with the front facing you, That's what you're looking at. And on the back side, this is what we're looking at. So, I have no idea what the next step is. Okay, there's only one hole labeled C. Alright, that's the bottom hole then. Alright, the hole labeled C is this hole right here. The bolt will also point to you. You need an M530 screw. Oh, that's my last M530 screw. 2 M5 washers. Those are M6. And we got a whole bag of the M5 flats. We've been using those in the last couple of videos. We need 2 of those. 2 bearings. You should have used all your V wheels by now. So we got 2 bearings. And 1 M5 nylock. And we got a bag of them too still. So we're going to do washer, right? Oh, and the last 10mm spacer. You should have 1 left. These are longer than the original ones that you use at the very, very beginning. Alright, slide M5 washer onto the bolt, into the bolt hole, slide the spacer, then we got a bearing, washer, bearing, lock nut. So that's what it's looking like. Now I need to tighten that up. Yep, plenty tight. So again, this is the front. This is the back. Okay. All right. Now, a stepper motor. I was not prepared on this video, was I? Take a stepper motor. I need M38 and I do not have them here. Alright, these are tiny guys. There they are. M38 button head bolts, Allen wrenches apparently. Which side does it mount to? Looks like it should be like this, right? There we go. At least I'm assuming that's right. The wires look like they're coming out towards the bottom. The holes line up for the bolts. And let's see. too far. Alright, so the heads will be facing me, so they go on the H side. So, okay, so this is the way the motor goes. Alright. So now, I just need to actually put these tiny little screws in here. Let's see here. And that would be the right size. Got one started. Yeah, now the poor light's coming back to bite me on this one. 2. Three. And 4. Okay, now that I got them started in here, let me just tighten them up. Now I wonder if using thread lock on this stuff would be good or bad. I don't know how much vibration there is in this once it actually starts jostling around, because I'm sure it has more vibration than a 3D printer. Okay. There we have a motor installed. Wires are coming down to the bottom like they said it should. Okay. Alright, well, that's what I get for not completely reading directions. Apparently, I'm supposed to use one of these little bad boys on each one of these. So, we'll take one out at a time and make you feel like you're getting something for free on your video. A lesson on what not to do. In other words, read more than one sentence ahead. So, put a lock washer on it. It's an M3 split lock washer. Sorry for this, folks. But hey, it's a good lesson to learn, right? Yeah, you're always taught never to skip ahead, but I guess in this case it would have been a good thing. And last one. I'm looking at these directions this guy wrote, and I think it's funny. And you're always told to use the right tool for the job. I mean, you got this big adjustable wrench instead of actually using the right sized socket or wrench, box end wrench. All right, there we go. Now we've got it installed with lock washers in there, and the wires are facing down. Okay, now let's read ahead and see what we got. If you purchase the homing switch kit, you will install an M6x40 bolt. Okay. I need an M6x40, which I don't think I have. Okay, I know he gave me the kit for the switches, but I already had the switches, so he was just going to give me the mounting kit. But I don't see the big bolt for it. I got the brackets. I have the brackets, but I don't have a 6x40 to mount in there, which means I may have to see if a hardware store has one or something. Not tonight, but I should be able to continue the build without it. I don't see a 6x40 over here anywhere. But I really don't want to have to come back and put one in here, but But it says if you purchased a homing, you'll need to install the Z-axis homing switch with 3 M3x20 bolts. I wonder if I have them. Well, I have 3 3x20. Just don't know if those are the only ones, or if I need them for somewhere else. Okay, well, let's see what we got. Let me check out one of my switches here, because I know I got screws with them, but they're thinner. Well, there's nothing fancy about the switches. They're just 3-prong. You know, one's common, then you got normally open, normally closed. So it looks like it would just mount like right over there. If I set this like this according to the directions, looks a little off that way. And that won't do. just be too long. I can always trim it back. It's not a huge deal. Do my bolt holes line up? Yeah, the bolt holes line up too. I wonder if I just use oh, well, they fit. Well, they definitely fit. Should I have M3 split locks too? M3 here. I got M3 nuts. Yep, and I got some M3s here. Now my switches may or may not work. These are not the ones that came with it. I just happen to have a whole bunch of these switches, different kinds with different lengths. But we'll see. So we're using the M3 screws, M3 lock washers, and M3 nuts. Now these you need to be really careful with. Since it is just a piece of plastic, you do not want to over tighten it because you will crack it. Just snug it up, just enough to engage the lock washer. You know, to put those pieces smashed together instead of being apart. So we'll see if that see if that works. It should be set to normally open when you actually do connect it. Well, there's a lot that goes on this piece, isn't there? Okay, the next step is to locate these guys. These guys right here. And they go on the side that you have labeled H, or the front side. And they're going to go like that. And they get mounted. M516, where'd you go? Calling M516. No, not 1625, right? No, M5 by 16. Here they are. Let's see. M5 by 16. So we're definitely going to need 4 of those guys. Alright. An M5 washer and an M5 nylock. So we got plenty of nylocks and washers left for the M5. So it's going to go through like that. That, and we're going to tilt it over. Take a washer. And the M5 nylock. you definitely want to make sure that this is facing out so you can actually get a screw into it to tighten it up. Then we take 2 more washers. And 2 more lock nuts. I'm just waiting for something to slip so I can shatter this glass top on my desk here. There we go. Nice and tight. Alright, well that is going to be it for this video. The next one is actually going to be assembling these pieces together. This with this and whatnot.